So what's good, TMG fam? Listen, next up on the blacklist, we got 3 chilling unsolved disappearances with CCTV footage, meaning a camera caught them before something happened to them. Camera last saw their whereabouts before something happened to them. All right, so prepare yourself, man, for these cases, man, and hopefully soon they can be solved. All right. If you're new, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. Real quick moment of silence for the haters. That's enough. Now run the lights up and let's get to this video.
Each person, that sounds like a... Just before we start, for those of you who didn't know, the Cold Case Detectives podcast is now live. You can find a link to that in the description below this video. Thank you. Between the UK and Ireland, there is estimated to be 8 to 10 million CCTV cameras. For an average person, that sounds like a lot, but for the families left behind when a person goes missing, it's often not enough. Despite millions of cameras running in stores and malls up and down the country, many people still go missing, leaving behind only a brief moment captured and frozen in time. On today's episode of Cold Case Detective, we discuss 3 unsolved disappearances with CCTV footage. Georgina Gharsallah. Born October 29, 1987, Georgina Gharsallah was the middle daughter of Andrea Gharsallah and her ex-husband, a man named Gassem, who originally came to the United Kingdom from Libya to study. Although born in England, Georgina spent much of her childhood in Libya before the family relocated back to Britain. After falling in with the wrong crowd during her high school years, Georgina started to become unreliable, a trait she carried with her even into adulthood, as she struggled to hold down a steady job despite being described as intelligent. Family members also knew her to struggle with an eating disorder and binge drinking. Described as someone who enjoyed cooking, meditation...
No judging. Y'all be quick to judge, bro, like you ain't got your own vices. We all do.
Described as intelligent. Family members also knew her to struggle with an eating disorder and binge drinking. Described as someone who enjoyed cooking, meditation and going running, the 30-year-old was a loving mother of 2 and, at the time of her disappearance, was staying in Worthing, West Sussex with her own mother Andrea following the breakup she had with the father of her 2 sons. On March 7, 2018, Andrea Gharsallah recalled seeing her daughter before she left the house that day, straightening her hair around 8 a.m. She described her daughter as being a bit agitated that morning, as Georgina explained that her phone was playing up and she intended on taking it to a local shop to inquire about having it fixed before she headed to the job centre and then to meet her father.
Is anybody thinking about a possible suspect off the bat? 'Cause I am. And not acute. I just always in my mind I start putting people in those categories. And I'm thinking the father of the child, possibility. Don't know, ain't heard nothing, just that was the first person in my mind.
In the meantime, Georgina's mother gave her an old mobile phone, which required a new SIM card. Georgina also asked to borrow money. Her mother was reluctant, but ultimately handed over the cash, watching as her daughter left the house. Georgina was seen on CCTV in the local shop. The footage shows her asking about the mobile phone and laughing and joking with the shop attendant around 9:30 a.m.
Another suspect right there. Shop clerk. You gotta just start, you know what I mean, gathering them up.
Is the last confirmed footage of the 30-year-old.
And it's the last footage of her. So they definitely, I hope they question that person. And I don't know, judging by the time, DNA probably wasn't, you know what I mean, heavily used back then, possibly back then. Definitely got to run that DNA now. if they got some.
After this, Georgina's movements are unknown. It took 10 days before Georgina was reported missing to the police. There was some confusion about her whereabouts, as her mother had thought she had gone to stay with friends and that her daughter wasn't speaking to her, and was annoyed with her mother due to her reluctance to hand over the money earlier that day. Around March...
Yeah, but 10 days though, Mom? And I can see how, I can somewhat see how that could possibly happen. You know what I mean? After an argument, plus she's grown. You know what I mean? She's grown. But 10 days though, Mom? That's what I be saying, man. Like, sometimes we got to put the BS aside and still check on our people. You know what I mean? We be getting mad at each other, and then when we cut ties. I'm one of the kings of that, bro. Cut you off and be like, you know what I mean? Because in my mind, I'm telling myself, what? I'm protecting my peace. I'm protecting my peace. You know what I mean? And which I love to do. But check on your people.
12, Georgina's ex-boyfriend called her mother saying he couldn't reach her, and after asking around, Andrea Gharsallah found that her daughter had not been seen or heard from since March 7th. Georgina never visited the job centre, nor did she turn up to the meeting she had arranged with her father, Gassem. Police found that her phone hadn't been used to send messages since 3 a.m. on the morning of March 7th. The last...
Where's Pops at then? If she never showed up, Pops, why didn't you say something? What, you don't got a good relationship with the mom or something? Like, are you and the mom not together? Were y'all together? I don't... Like, that's odd that he didn't even say nothing.
Used to send messages since 3 a.m. on the morning of March 7th. The last time it pinged at a cell tower was between 11:30 and 11:45 a.m. in the Worthing area. Her bank account had not been touched, and despite the large number of CCTV cameras in the Worthing town centre, there exists only one other potential recording of the 30-year-old. The footage is believed to be of Georgina and shows her accompanied by another woman and carrying shopping bags. The footage is from around 3 p.m. on the same day that she went missing. The unknown woman has not been identified as of yet, and no one has come forward to name her. In October of 2018, Georgina's case was featured on Crime Watch, and Sussex Police offered a £5,000 reward for information regarding her whereabouts. Law enforcement interviewed her friends, family, and ex-boyfriend. All were cleared of suspicion. They also searched her home, but found nothing to help them move forward in the investigation.
Now, here's another possibility that nobody's probably gonna... Georgina could be still alive. Like she said, she had the beef with her moms and could have been like, that's it. I want to cut off ties with you. I'm done. I've done it. You know what I mean? Had beef with my pops when I was younger. And we had a disagreement about something. I felt like he told me something he was going to do, didn't do it. And I cut ties for a while. I did. And it was over something petty now that you think about it, but I've done that. So there is a possibility that she could be still alive, but it's just hard to think that she is. And then what is she doing for money? She was already asking her mom for money. You know what I mean? See how I be analyzing, coming back, going. I be all over the place with it.
But Georgina's family did not sit idly by as police carried out their inquiries. They actively made video appeals, created a Facebook page, put up flyers, and later created a reconstruction of her last known movements, trying desperately to shed light on the case of their missing loved one. A month after the mother of two went missing, on April 20th, 2018...
And the kids. That's a red flag right there too, like... She ain't just gonna roll out and leave her kids.
A witness came forward, claiming to have seen a woman matching Georgina's description with two men near a Tesco supermarket on the evening of March 7th. They were allegedly in an argument, but the three of them left together, heading towards the station. CCTV footage from this area was given to police, but it had been corrupted and could not be played. Thus far in the investigation, this sighting remains unconfirmed. From this point, Georgina's case begins to grow cold. In March 2019, Andrea asked that police search the Teeville Gate construction site in Worthing, concerned that her daughter's body was dumped there, or that she had suffered some sort of accident. However, this request was refused, given that there was insufficient evidence to support any claim that Georgina was near the construction site and that something may have happened to her whilst there. A month later, the Worthing Herald and Sussex Police received a ransom note from fraudsters claiming to have Georgina in their possession. It was debunked by authorities, but the disturbing claims around the 30-year-old's case did not end there.
Now that would be scary, because what if it is true? You know what I mean? To hear that is gonna mess with the mom, period. It would mess with any mom. That's what mess with me, fam. Like, nah, man, I don't care if it is fraud. Just pay him just to make sure. Just give me some peace where I can, you know what I mean? Just let's see. Let's entertain it real quick. Let's see. Like, that would have been hard for me, because now that you plant that seed in the back of the mom's mind and now she can't shake that off.
Andrea Gharsallah received grim messages claiming that her daughter had been butchered and burned by a drugs gang who scattered her remains. These claims came when the missing persons Facebook page for Georgina had been hacked. Later, in 2019, authorities changed the status of Georgina's case from that of a missing person to a homicide. There is no evidence that Georgina is dead, but there is also no proof of life either. Andrea fears a number of things: that her daughter has fallen victim to sex traffickers, has been abducted, or has met a dark fate at the hands of a stranger, citing that Georgina could be, quote, too trusting. It has now been over 2 years since Georgina went missing, and a £10,000 reward is now being offered for information on her whereabouts. If you have any information pertaining to Georgina's case, you can call Crime Stoppers at 0800 555 111.
Prayers to the mom, bro. Prayers to the mom, the kids, all that type of stuff, man. Prayers to them. Like, and we could never, if you ain't never been in that situation, we could never understand how her family feels right now. Prayers, bro. Prayers.
Jon Jonsson. A weekend away should be fun for all involved, but for the Jonsson family, it was their worst nightmare. On Friday, February 8, 2019, Jon Jonsson arrived in Dublin, Ireland. A 41-year-old father of 4, Jon planned to attend and participate in a poker tournament that night, before his fiancée joined him the following day so they could enjoy and explore the city together over the weekend. Described as a kind, caring and level-headed man, the taxi driver, originally from Iceland, had no other friends or family in Ireland at the time of his disappearance. It is widely believed by all of those around him that he was in good mental health and had been looking forward to the trip. Jon's fiancée, Jana, arrived on February 9th around 10 a.m, and after meeting Jon in their room, she headed down to the hotel bar for coffee, alone. It was during this time that her fiancé left the hotel, although why is still unknown. Jon was captured on CCTV leaving the Bonington Hotel at 11:05 a.m. Camera footage showed him walking past McGitton's bar at 11:07 a.m, where he exited onto Swords Road. Jon was last seen at the exit of Highfield Hospital, heading northbound on Swords Road towards Collins Avenue. This CCTV footage is the last confirmed sighting of the 41-year-old. Jana reported her partner missing on February 10, 2019, just 1 day after Jon was last seen. While police were able to locate Jon on the CCTV described, attempts to retrieve CCTV from other areas of Whitehall proved fruitless. Jon had left his passport and belongings behind at the hotel, but it was believed that he had a hotel room key card in his possession and that he had possibly even had a debit card and cash on his person. Police confirmed that Yon's bank accounts had not been touched since he left the hotel, and it's also been estimated that the father of four lost €4,000 in the poker tournament on February 8th.
Look at the speed at the person walking behind him. That's what gets me. That's what gets me.
On his person. Police confirmed that Yon's bank accounts had not been touched.
That's the speed of somebody who's, I don't know, that's not a normal walk. That's a speed walk with a purpose, and it looked like that purpose was towards him.
Since he left the hotel. And it's also been estimated that the father of four lost €4,000 in the poker tournament on February 8th. 12 members of...
Did it look like it was speeding up towards him? I'm sorry, but that messes with me.
Euro in the poker tournament on February 8th. 12 members of Yon's family flew to Ireland after he was reported missing to help the investigation and to partake in the local searches. On February 23rd, 2019, a large-scale search consisting of 80 people took place, with many of these being volunteers. The Johnson family also appeared on the Irish TV show Crime Call, where they appealed for information to help bring Jon home. Of the 41-year-old going missing, they said, quote, "It doesn't make any sense. This isn't like Jon. He just doesn't vanish." They fear that Jon had met with foul play. There is very little else publicly known about the inquiry into the disappearance of Jon Johnson. In December of 2019, the Johnson family hired a private investigator named Liam Brady to help supplement the police investigation. The latest update in the case came in February of 2020, when Liam Brady announced that he is hoping to speak to a person of interest in a European jail who may have information. The Johnson family continue to fly out to Ireland regularly to conduct further searches for their missing loved one.
You gotta travel right, bro. Like, even hearing his story, and I think I've heard this story before. I think I've seen this clip. This one here. You gotta travel right, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially when you're going to places you possibly never been before. Travel right, fam. Like, don't be out here just walking around, exploring the city with a big old tourist sign painted on your forehead. Like, people prey on people like that. You know what I mean? I try my hardest not to look like a tourist wherever I go, because I feel like you food. And there's no other better way to put it. I feel like you food, and people are there to try to eat, you know what I'm saying? Take advantage. You see the movies where young girls, they go to these countries, or they go somewhere and they get off the plane and they meet a person and they just want to have a good time, and they put their trust in this person. He tell them, or take them to a bar and be like, "Oh man, I'm gonna show y'all a good time." All the while he's setting them up. Because he spotted that you look like a tourist. You knew nothing about the area you was in. So he felt like he spotted a duck. He got you. Man, like, didn't y'all, like, I don't know. That was just drilled to me in my household. Was that drilled to y'all? You go somewhere, don't be looking like no tourist. Don't be doing tour, like, no.
If you have any information on the whereabouts of Jon Johnson, you can email findjonInDublin@gmail.com or contact Liam Brady at liam@liambradyie, or call him at 086 256 6697. Leah Croucher. On February 14th, 2019, 19-year-old Leah Croucher left her home around 6 p.m., claiming she was going to visit a friend. Just 15 minutes before, she had changed the settings on her phone, with police suspecting she had turned the location setting off. Wherever she was going, Leah wanted it to be private. This became more evident when it was discovered that Leah hadn't gone to see her friend at all, and her movements between 6 to 7:30 p.m. that night are completely unknown. For some online sleuths, Leah's secret meeting was the catalyst for what transpired a day later. Leah headed out to work on February 15th, where CCTV picked her up walking down Buzzacott Lane in Furston, Milton Keynes, around 8:15 that morning. This is the last confirmed sighting of the 19-year-old. After Leah had been reported missing, 3 separate witnesses came forward to claim they had seen her that morning between 9:30 and 11:15 a.m. near Furston Lake. All 3 claimed that she was on her phone, while 2 reported that she appeared visibly upset as she talked on the mobile. These sightings have not been confirmed to definitively be Leah, but authorities suspect that these sightings are credible. Leah's family were quick to report her missing, and an extensive investigation was launched into her sudden and uncharacteristic disappearance. Officers visited over 4,000 homes in Milton Keynes, deploying specialist teams, drones, and helicopters in their search for the missing teenager.
Can't do nothing but give them officers respect for that, bro. Searching over 4,000 homes. Like salute to them, man. Like, you can't say they didn't try, because you get the feeling sometimes that some of these places they push you away. It hasn't been 24 hours yet. Don't. No. It hasn't been 24 hours yet. You come back when it's 24 hours, then we'll file the proper paperwork, and then you get that feeling like they really ain't going as hard as you think they would if it was their child.
Later, in October of 2019, marine and dive teams searched the lakes across town, spending 2 weeks searching Furston Lake and the surrounding areas. But this turned up no items of Leah's, nor any other answers or information as to her whereabouts. Described as a homebody and a girl who enjoyed reading fantasy fiction and spending time with her family over going out to a pub or club, Leah's family opened up during the initial investigation, describing how the 19-year-old had changed in recent months. They claimed she had become moody and argumentative, and often sulked in her room for hours on end. It wasn't until the investigation was opened into her disappearance that they found out what might have been the cause of the behavior they were putting down to her simply being a teenager. It was revealed that Leah had been seeing an older man. He was around 27 years old and engaged to another woman. This man had been investigated by the police.
Oh my goodness, what does that sound like to y'all? She probably threatened to tell the woman he's engaged to, and he possibly did something to her.
Police, and they have confirmed that he is currently not a suspect in the case. He has an alibi for the time that Leah went missing.
See, that's the scary thing. Nobody doesn't give them any help. They need to find the person. Hopefully she's still alive, so I don't want to say body. Hopefully she's still alive. They need to find her. You know what I mean? And then if something has happened, they need to find the body. That way they can start doing the DNA samples, because I ain't buying that alibi stuff. I don't be buying it at first like that.
Despite this, the family appear to have their suspicions about this unnamed man. Leah's older brother, Hayden, was issued with a restraining order in May of 2019 after threatening him. That same month, Hayden posted on social media that the man had groomed and mistreated his sister. In February 2020, Leah's father, John, said he believed a man was withholding key information about the case and accused the unnamed person of being a selfish person, and that the situation was, quote, destroying his family. He added that he would publicly name the man if he does not come forward. It is not clear whether John is referring to Leah's boyfriend, but many suspect he is. Of this matter, DCI Andy Howard and the Thames Valley Police agreed that some people potentially hold more information about Leah's life than they are willing to share with police so far. However, he was less convinced about whether those people would know why she disappeared. Briefly, in May 2019, it was suspected that a severed foot found in Lincolnshire possibly belonged to Leah, but this possibility has since been ruled out. Police continue to thoroughly investigate Leah's case. An anniversary appeal this year turned up 20 new reports of information or potential sightings from various areas across the UK.
Say what you want. That will still give me as a parent hope. Like, give me hope. That's all that's keeping me going right now. You know what I mean? Because I'm never gonna give up on my child. I'm never gonna give up on finding them. So people saying this, that's giving me life every single day, bro. And I'm not gonna quit.
19-year-old's phone and bank accounts have been inactive since she went missing. Meanwhile, tragedy continues to haunt the Croucher family. In November of 2019, Hayden Croucher, just 24 years old, took his own life after struggling to cope with the disappearance of his sister, whom he was very close to. If you have any information about the whereabouts of Leah Croucher, you can call Crime Stoppers on 0800 555 111. And there you have the facts.
You heard the pop say, yo, this is destroying my family. Like, destroying his family. And he was trying not to let it get to the point. And then you got to lose a son now, too. Man, prayers for that family. I'm telling you, bro. Like, I can't even find the words to even say to them. The only thing you could do is send prayers, man. That's sad. Both of your kids, we as parents, man, never want to have to live through that. You always want to go before your kids. What? Me burying one? No. I couldn't take it, man. It take a lot. Whew. I don't even want to think about the amount of strength, but I told y'all at the beginning of the video, brace yourselves. I figured this was going to bring the pain, and yes, it did bring the pain, man. 3 unsolved disappearances with CCTV footage, man. You know, hopefully she comes back to them. Prayers go out to them. It's your boy L, man. Y'all stick around and stay tuned till the next one. I'm gone. Peace.